Do I have everybody's attention now?
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out at two. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. Are you ready to podcast, PK?
Yes.
It's me, Pod Bearer.
Welcome to another episode of Kick Out at 2. I'm PK.
I'm Jay.
This episode's about cameos in wrestling.
And not the kind that you pay for.
I mean, you could do, but I wouldn't
put it in the list.
The people I've chose, you probably might not want like cameos from.
Do you ever look at do you ever like peruse the prices of a cameo? Have you ever like?
Yeah,
looked?
I bought one.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
For yourself?
For Becky for her 30th birthday.
Who was it?
Andy Roy,
Who the fuck is Andy Roy?
the skateboarder.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
How much?
It was
Well, you don't have to say because obviously
30 quid, so it wasn't
that's
too
good.
bad.
That no, that's fair.
I was looking at Danhausen's,
Yeah,
80 quid. But
but he's a top name at the moment.
I know, yeah.
And you know
yeah.
he'll definitely put the work in.
Yeah. Have you
So-
seen Mick Foley's cameo?
What, the price?
Not the price, what he does.
No, yeah, he does. Like he'll do like one of the faces of Foley or something.
Yeah, so he does it on his podcast.
Oh yeah, no, I'm listening to to Foley's pod.
Yeah.
I began re-listening to that. I know I poo-pooed it at the beginning, but
Yeah.
I've got into how it works now.
It's 3 hours long, and he does it every week.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find 3 hours every week to listen to Mick Foley and to a match that you might not even know. Or so it's like I've got way behind on it.
The best way I've handled them is I just ignore the title of the show, just like you may do. By the way, we're going off on a tangent like this,
Yeah.
but because I just feel like as I'm watching it or listening to it, I'm just going, you're not talking about anything to do with the title of the show. If it was just called Talking with Foley's Pod, today we're just going to just talk with Foley about something random, give him a little time point and just go around it, that's fine. So I've just learned to ignore that and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But if I want to focus on it, if I go, oh, I'm really looking forward to this topic, I get annoyed.
Well, the first couple of ones, like the one where like he's talking about getting his ear ripped off, that was like literally the match I got my ear ripped off.
Yeah,
like,
but he talks all the way around it.
Yeah.
Like what he was doing in WCW a lot at the time, which is kind of, it is relevant to a point. But then
kind
it
of
was
like leads up to it, doesn't it? So.
yeah, but it's, anyway, we digress. We're going to talk about cameos in wrestling. But what first we're going to do is there's a new section we're going to do. This was nominated by one of you actually emailing in, which the email address, by the way, is
Kick out at 2 at kick out at 2 podcast at gmail.com.
And someone suggested that they'd like us to like put up a wrestling sign every week of like one of our favorite signs we've seen at a recent show or in the past or whatever, and they had their nomination. So presenting to you, nominated and suggested by Jay Simpson from Ormskirk, Lancashire. There we go. And if you're listening to pod, it says Goldberg eats corn the long way, which that's a good sign. If you've got any signs you've seen, screenshot them. If you can't find them, let us. I mean, it's not detrimental. Just let us know if you can think of where you saw it. But if you want to see your sign here or one you've seen, email kickoutat2podcast@gmail.com and let us know, and it'll be featured in the show. Yeah, so yeah, Goldberg eats corn the long way. That was the wrestling sign segment.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We've now got segments.
We've got segments. It's great. We're on the way to being a full professional podcast.
Right. Do you want to start this off?
Yes.
Because I'll be honest. When I put forward the idea of cameos, I never actually we've not discussed what we meant by cameos. So I've mixed it up a bit in terms of people in wrestling and wrestling
in people.
No. Wrestlers in other things, but I've kept it more non-wrestlers wrestling rather than wrestlers in non-wrestling.
Oh, right. So you've almost gone like with, okay, right. Well, I just went with what I thought cameo would mean words where wrestlers have appeared in other properties outside of wrestling.
Fair enough. I've gone more the other way, so this could be quite interesting.
So in no particular order, because I don't think there's a best one of these, but I'll go with the one that stands out the most, and that would be Expendables. I remember when I first saw Expendables, even though it's been a little while since I've watched any wrestling, I was like, holy shit, that's Steve Austin. And is he great in it? He's all right. He's all right in it.
Is he just playing on the fact that it is Steve Austin in an action film, or is he playing a character?
He's playing a character called Dan Payne. That's Payne spelled P-A-I-N-E. Not the
They didn't even go creative and put it P-Y-N-E.
Well, P-Y-N-E, yeah. I know, yeah. They've just gone. Well,
should just called him Max Payne.
Yeah, Max Payne. But yeah, and Ronda Rousey's in it as well, but I don't know if she was wrestling at the time. I think she was still into UFC. So she's in it as a character called Luna. But I do remember at the time going like, oh, there's all these massive action stars and Expendables, and going, what the... Is that Stone Cold Steve Austin? And then in my brain, I was going, is he an action star now? Have I missed something? And I do remember there's just one scene where I'm sure he throws Sylvester Stallone through a brick wall. I'm sure it's something like that. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I used to love The Expendables. I thought it was a fucking great film.
I'll be honest, I've not watched any of them. But I have seen a clip where Jason Statham's talking about it, saying where one of his stunts went wrong and he drove into... I think he drove off a pier that he shouldn't have done and was nearly drowning for a good 5 minutes. And Sylvester Stallone was just stood laughing at him. Just chuckling, just on the pier, just going. I just thought that was really funny. That he just honestly was like, nah.
No. Well, that's how Sly works. That's his. He wants to get every
Sly
shot.
By name, Sly
by nature. Yeah. But that's the first one that came to my brain when you said cameos. After that, I didn't think I'd have many, but I've actually got quite a few. So
yeah,
go on. What's your version of a cameo?
All right, so The only one I've chose along those lines is Roddy Piper.
In
Not What You Think.
Because he's in the one where they live or something like that.
So that's the famous one.
Yeah.
Not that. He is Cash Commander. Oh no, sorry, Commander Cash in the RoboCop TV show.
There was a RoboCop
TV show.
When?
At some point in time.
Was the same actor play RoboCop?
I don't know.
I mean, you wouldn't need it to be, would you?
I'll put up a photo of his character.
Okay, and what was it?
It's brilliant.
What did
he
do?
Basically, he's a cartoon superhero in real life. And that was like the sort of
what do you mean? So he's a cartoon that's come to life, or he's a superhero that is given a cartoon that's what do you mean he's a cartoon superhero come to life?
He was a cartoon and he's come to life as a villain.
What the fuck is was this a RoboCop cartoon?
No, this is a RoboCop
live action,
but it's a live action version of a cartoon villain.
How does he come alive?
I don't know. But
is this the same franchise that begins with RoboCop getting brutally shot to death?
This is like aimed at a kids as a kids TV show.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
Commander Cash.
Yeah. And when you see the photo, you'll yeah.
Okay. Is he good? Do you remember him being good?
No. It only went for one season. Like it just.
Or was he a regular?
No.
Oh.
But the entire TV show was just.
There's only one. That's what I mean. I don't remember that either.
No.
Okay, that'll be interesting to look back on. The next one that came to my mind, because I remembered Steve Austin being in Expendables and learning of the awful name Dan Payne, was then, oh, holy shit. I remember I used to watch The Longest Yard, the one with Adam Sandler. I remember when I watched that with my mates
Goldberg.
Oh, there's tons. Tons. You've got, I've wrote them all down.
Great Carly as well.
Great Carly is in as a guy called, Tully, I think it is. Oh my God, my writing is awful there. Goldberg is known as a character called Battle.
Yeah. I remember this.
Kevin Nash is Eagleheart.
Was Kevin Nash in it?
Engelhart, sorry. Yeah, Kevin Nash is in it. No, because Kevin Nash has one of the best lines in the whole thing, and I'm pretty sure if you watch it, there's an outtakes reel because of how well he delivers it. Because his character's given female hormones, and he has to regularly complain about how his breasts hurt and everything. And there's a bit where he says he starts getting into the other team winning.
Yeah.
And it's like, good for them. I'm glad it's got working out. And Stone Cold,
I didn't realise that was Kevin Nash.
Stone Cold shouts someone that's like, "What are you talking about, you fucking pansy?"
Yeah.
And then he just goes, and then Kevin Nash just throws him like a proper drag queen stare and goes like that. And apparently Stone Cold just broke each time. Like he couldn't hold because it was so well done, so camp. But yeah, Kevin Nash is Englehart. Steve Austin is called Dunham. It's always a D, isn't it? Dan Dunham. Great Khali's. I remember he's really intimidating in that.
Yeah, because he plays ping pong on his own.
Yeah,
I remember that scene with
Funnily enough, they utilised Great Khali better than WWE ever utilised him.
Yeah.
He's more menacing. He looks more powerful. He comes off. Yeah, there's tons of work done with him. Actually, speaking of which,
WWE is not very good with big people.
No, although they like them. Have you ever watched any of the Great Khali in Japanese wrestling?
No.
And how he was used there?
No.
He's great. He's not... Okay, great might be a stretch, but he's great in compared to...
He's better than WWE.
Well, he's living up to the name Great Khali. I think that's why I thought the word great, to be honest. He's doing, full-on power bombs and, they do, 2-on-1 matches, and he's working both of them, and he's moving around the ring. It's weird. It's like they know how to use him, whereas in WWE, he was either told to either do something or you can't do that, or it's too dangerous, or because they've given him someone big, he doesn't know how to work with a big person. Yeah. But when he's got these two smaller wrestlers who are more athletic, jumping around, knocking him down, he's fighting back. But then if you go on Twitter, someone put it up. Dead interesting. Great Khali was probably a better wrestler. Sorry, I'm really distracted by Salem the cat keeps opening.
Trying to get in.
He's opening.
Normally he's pretty good. No, he's nearly there.
I don't know if he's trying to get in. Isn't he trying to shut the door?
No, he's trying to get in.
He's heard you now and he's shut the door. Goldberg is very Goldberg in that. Kevin Nash, like I said, is hilarious. Steve Austin doesn't do much either. His character's just more or less the same, shouting Texan.
Yeah.
But
I just remember it's not easy being cheesy.
I just don't remember. I do wonder why. I think Adam Sandler does like wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because he's used them, and again, there'll be another example that comes up later, but he does like them. But that was always, I remember that being really good to watch.
So I'm going the other way, and non-wrestlers in wrestling. The Misfits of WCW.
God. I actually thought this will come up in the next episode, but we're doing it now.
I'll talk about more about the Misfits in this episode, and then maybe Vampiro in the other episode.
I might have peeked behind the curtain there.
So, yeah, basically how it come about was Vampiro was wrestling and Misfits were playing a show literally over the road. So he just went across and said, "Do you want to come and help us wrestle?" And they were like, "All right."
With no training.
So that's how
that is,
Vampiro got the Misfits just to come out and wrestle with him.
And then they had a run as well, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Well, Jerry Only was the only one who actually signed with WCW for a full year contract. You know, he actually tried to unionize them as well.
Oh no, I heard about this. Yeah. I'm fairly certain I heard about that. I don't know if it was you who told me, but yeah.
Yeah. Also, who was it now?
Mick Foley wrote in his book that he met him because of all that happening. Yeah. And he was surprised to find that they just slept in a van most days, and he found that shocking considering it was what he was doing. And then I think he gave him a CD. He said, considering the guy sang about this and that and all horrible stuff, he seemed quite a really nice person. He gave me a CD and he said, I put it in, and within 10 seconds took it out.
Yeah, I can't imagine Mick Foley listening to anything other than Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, which is always such a juxtaposition for me. For me, he would listen to that, but then, he does not like anything like that.
Well, Commissioner Thornley would listen to just Bruce Springsteen, but Old Mankind would listen to,
Creed.
Misfits. Oh, God.
How long were they were in a full year?
So Jerry Only was the only one who signed for a full year contract as an actual wrestler. He bought a ring himself and had a ring.
He bought a ring and slept in a van. I mean, the man's got money in places, clearly, but he's just using it in different ways.
If you, I don't know.
I suppose you can sleep in the ring. It's like a second home.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It didn't work out well. It's not like he's still wrestling.
yeah, what was I going to say now?
Vampiro. Misfits.
It was originally supposed to be ICP,
Who's ICP?
Insane Clown Posse.
Oh yeah, there was a whole load of that going on, wasn't there?
Yeah. So, but ICP went into WWE afterwards. But at that point, he wanted ICP, but they weren't available, so he just went and asked for Misfits.
And then asked the Misfits over the road.
But then Doyle got friendly with Gorgeous George, who was with Randy Savage at the time, and then Randy Savage was genuinely gonna kick the shit out of
Gorgeous George,
yeah,
the wrestler.
yeah,
Has he been got friendly with him?
with her.
Her? Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Who's Gorgeous? I'm picturing Gorgeous George, like George the Animal.
No. She was a female wrestler.
I don't know. So I got
yeah,
really confused. I was like, he got friendly with Gorgeous George. I was like, all right, did he? He went, yeah, and then Macho Man was pissed off. I was like, why would Macho Man be annoyed?
right. Okay, so there was a period of time, can't remember when. Obviously, the Misfits bit when it was more sort of like NWO sort of
Yeah.
Randy Savage, like a bit
Yeah,
later
yeah,
on.
black and white, the madness.
Yeah, sort of like that era, and so he was with Gorgeous George, like a female wrestler,
Okay.
and got friendly with
I can't
friendly with Doyle,
Yeah.
and Randy found out about it.
Oh.
So Randy went to a Misfits gig
To kick his ass.
to kick his ass, and luckily, like the rest of the band spotted that Randy was like at the doors at the back, so he just fucked off the other way.
It's
As
the
soon
smartest
as he stopped,
thing to do.
he just went, and they tried to calm him down, but yeah,
And then that was probably it with them being in.
pretty much, yeah. So it was actually more, Jerry only did actually have a few matches on his own.
Whatever happened to Vampiro?
He just kind of like. got old
I
and
know
disappeared.
of
Like,
him. I've never watched.
It
I've
was
never
one of
seen
them.
any of his matches.
He was a character that just didn't really get utilised, so he just kind of like came in for a bit,
Went away.
and then
Ebb and flow. Well, whilst we're on the topic of him, then Macho Man, he's cameoed in a few things, but the one that sticks in my mind the most was when he was the amazing Bonesaw in Spider-Man.
yeah.
When if they had to pick any wrestler to be a wrestler in the Spider-Man universe, the Raimi Spider-Man universe, Macho Man was the perfect one for it, to be this over the top, and like saying over time people have come to say that Spider-Man was in the wrong in that match, because Spider-Man says like, hey, did your boyfriend make you that suit or something like that, make you that outfit, and people have gone, what if he did? What if he did, Spider-Man? You homophobe.
Yeah, it's just like you can't say stuff like that nowadays, because it's like, one, it's not really an insult, and two, it just makes you look like a dick.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
it's
like,
not that hasn't aged well, but
Yeah.
Bonesaw has, and I was really gutted because they were doing with some Bonesaw t-shirts available on one of them bootleg sites, and I
Yeah.
missed out on them. I found them. I was like, I'll go. That's like a proper meta wrestling shirt to have
it's a very
Bonesaw.
niche, like very sort of.
If you know who Bonesaw is,
yeah,
but it's
Name 3
it's
songs.
also a very good match, and Randy puts all his effort in. I think this is at a time when Randy was really trying to find his next leap. So I
Yeah.
think he's thinking acting. He did a rap album around this time as well, which I've never listened to. I don't ever want to listen to. It's
No.
Some people say don't meet your heroes. I just don't want to hear my heroes rap. That's all.
Speaking of random rap albums, have you ever heard Fieldy's rap album from Korn?
No, because I remember when it got reviewed in Kerrang, it got 1K.
Yeah,
and
Fieldy's Dreams.
Fieldy's
yeah.
Dreams, and it got 1K, and I think the review was just a small paragraph saying that was because we couldn't put no Ks.
Yeah.
It's just, no. I don't want to hear people rap. Gene Simmons did it as well.
Oh, God.
Have you ever heard the Firestarter by Gene Simmons?
No.
His version of Firestarter by The Prodigy.
No.
And in the video, the video is just like, picture like modern hip hop videos where he's just like surrounded by nothing but women, and the camera's like going round to this Prodigy music, and he's like going straight into the camera. I'm a Firestarter, and like drinking champagne and doing that. But you're looking at him going, look how old you are, And like, why are you doing this now? Calm down.
Just do insurance ads like everyone else.
Play dominoes with your mates.
Or advertise Dominoes.
Yeah, don't do insurance like you said. Iggy's doing insurance. He's calm.
Yeah. Oh, you know the ironic thing about Iggy Pop doing car insurance?
Didn't someone get hit by a car? And
No,
the band
not
died?
that. They don't insure musicians.
That company.
That company didn't insure musicians, but had Iggy Pop as their.
I mean, there's a joke there. You could argue, well, he's not a musician, but why would you not order? Why not a musician?
Yeah, because it's too expensive. Because of the amount of.
They're more likely to hit A minor.
No. No.
You like that one? Didn't
No, yeah, it put me straight off. It's a joke I've heard 1,000 times, but still funny.
Yeah.
No, so basically, they don't insure. If you put musician as your profession, they won't insure you. A lot of companies don't, because of how expensive musical equipment it is and how lightly it's going to get stolen.
And how often you're going to be on the road as well, I
Yeah,
suppose.
basically the amount of time you're using the vehicle.
Fucking hell.
It's, basically risk. You're higher risk because you're going to be parked outside a venue. People are going to know there's gear in it.
Well, you've heard it here first, everyone. If you want to get good car insurance, email PK. He'll tell you who he uses.
Don't email me. No, I'm not.
Oh, PK's insurance. I like the idea of that. Yeah, Macho Man for me. It's not really too much to say about it because, unlike other cameos that we've gone over where they did new things, he's literally just a wrestler, being a wrestler, and he's just very good at it. And so much so that I feel like every time I watch it, I kind of almost forget it's Macho Man. I feel like
you think it's an actor playing a wrestling rather than a wrestler acting as a wrestler.
I see Bonesaw more than Macho.
Yeah,
it's because of he's just so brutal and like angry, and it is very comic booky, which is perfect for obviously Spider-Man. But yeah, that was a good little segue into there. I'm dreading what you've got coming up next.
Rodzilla, Dennis Rodman.
Oh fuck me!
In the 1997 Bash at the Beach.
Now, is this the one where he didn't know that the Chicago Bulls didn't know he was going to be in? Or is this the one that was better planned?
This one was better planned, but that one's more entertaining because
the one they didn't know he was going to be in.
He didn't know he was going to be in. He had minimal training as well with the chairs.
Yeah, I heard about. Have you watched the same?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it said something about the chairs. Go on, if you can remember it.
Yeah, so basically, like when you hit someone with a chair shot, you hit them flat.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, it does minimal damage, but makes a loud bang.
Yeah, looks good.
Looks good. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
The least way of being painful.
Yeah.
But he got a bit excited and turned it. So I can't remember who he was against in that match.
Is Hulk's on his side? Is he? Because he's one of the NWO.
Yeah, he's part of the NWO. And in this one, the one we're talking about, I'm not quite sure.
It's probably going to be like the Four Horsemen or something.
Yeah. So. Yeah, within the match, he hits them and like nearly paralyzes the opponent because he's done it on an angle, rather than flat. So
it's funny you say like that. It's a cameo because have you seen like the news report? Someone got a clip up. There was a news report about 2 years ago, and Dennis Rodman was on it. And when it comes up, it would like come up for. If it came up David Attenborough, it would say underneath, like. Narrator or something like that. Dennis Rodman came up. Basketball player and former member of NWO. And it's like, who's keeping track of this?
Yeah.
If you're gonna, there'd be a lot of wrestlers you put that on, but yeah, Dennis Rodman, I suppose, is a former member of the NWO.
If you wrestled with them, then you are a former.
He did 2 matches.
Member. Yeah.
I've heard but you're talking about
the Bash at the Beach. So it was Hulk and Dennis Rodman and Lex Luger and what was the Giants in WCW.
Yeah.
Which is Big Show. Or Paul White, isn't it?
Paul White, yeah.
Yeah, Paul White.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
I'm doing all right. I kind of don't want to talk about Knucklehead, the film that Paul White's in, because me and Beck watched it and we lasted about 7 minutes, and it's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I've never heard of it.
It's another WWE production.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Just for now. Can't crack on with this, but we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
It's not on my list, but it's just sort of triggered, you know, flashbacks of like trying to watch it, going, "No, this is horrible. Turn it off." But but yeah, it was actually a pretty good match. He wrestled really well in it. Like I said, Hulk versus Lex and a Giant, and it wasn't an awful match.
Which is rare when you get a celebrity. I always hate that. I feel like it's. I don't know why it's done really, because who really enjoys it? Who's is it, like other than Mr. T versus versus Hulk Hogan? Because he went against Piper, and he went against Hulk Hogan. Other than Mr. T, I don't think there's been any celebrity that's come in, and it's been like, well, that was like a classic.
Yeah.
Or something.
Mr. T on your list?
No, because I didn't do it the weird backwards way you've
Yeah,
done it.
yeah.
I've done actual cameos.
Yeah.
Not people, not celebrities in wrestling, which feel.
Well, yeah, it's like that. I guess I never did specify which way,
No,
so
you
it's
didn't.
kind of entertaining that we didn't.
I never specified the multiple definitions of cameo that I have. Well, stick with what you said with Big Show. That's why I said put a pin in it.
Yeah.
I went to go with the Waterboy and Captain Insano.
Never seen it.
I know. Oh, we've been over this,
We've
haven't
had
we?
this
So yeah,
conversation,
Captain. He's never seen Waterboy. He's not in it much. He's only in it for like the first maybe 10 minutes because it's relevant to part of Waterboy's breakdown. But he just plays a wrestler on TV called Captain Insano.
Yeah.
And he's obsessed with him. And it's well done. But he is just playing the giant. He's probably really playing the giant.
I'm pretty sure I read a few weeks ago that WWE have bought the.
No, it's AEW has.
AEW was it?
They've bought,
it.
yeah, because Paul White is not a WWE man anymore.
Yeah.
But I think whatever plans that we're having for it have had to go on the back burner while they fix everything else that's happening there. But I did decide to Google it whilst I was doing this. There are still plans to do the Captain Insano. He wants to have one last hurrah, and Paul White's got a very odd outlook on his career, and some people disagree with how he's done it, but he just wants to go out funny.
That's fine.
Which, if as long as you pick
as long
your
as
way
he's
to
not
go
crying like he was in WWE, then I don't mind.
Like you said. But again, it's very similar along the lines of Bonesaw. I think when I first watched Waterboy, I didn't even register that it was Big Show.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. It only took I have seen Waterboy easily, it's not even an exaggeration, 200 times.
Yeah.
Because it was all, before memes, you had a film.
Yeah.
That you always put on with your mates, and that Waterboy was our one. And it wasn't until like the 20th watch I was like, holy shit, that's Big Show.
Wow.
But yeah, he was good at playing a wrestler. Did he play a wrestler in this Knucklehead you were talking about?
I can't even remember. I've tried to erase it from my brain.
So it's a WWE film?
It's a WWE film, and they're not very good at making films.
No, they're not. Although, did you hear, this is kind of relevant now, because obviously, spoilers, but it's by the time this comes out, you will definitely know. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Right? Apparently, they were going to do a Fiend film. A WWE Fiend film. And he was working with, he works with a guy on creative. As much as people say he's got free reign to do what he wants when he's done his stuff, he does have to work with someone.
Oh,
in
yeah,
WWE.
yeah, no one
so
gets
I
free
can't remember
reign.
what this guy's name is. It's a very short name, like Roy or whatever. But this guy... Roy.
Just Roy, no surname.
I'm just calling him Roy from now on. So him and Roy were going to do this, and then he left before it could get any traction. But apparently, yeah, he was working on a Fiend film, which I would have thought, if he has the most freedom of anyone, that maybe could have been the first success for him, because that character was on a good role at the time.
But what would it have been though? Like, would it have been?
It probably would have expanded. He let's be honest. When you watch WWE in the WWE universe,
yeah,
he was making his own pocket of the universe. He's going, right, if this is a universe, well, my universe, part of the universe, consists of this TV show, and technically magic exists, and zombies and stuff like that. If you don't want, if you want to try and make your way in WWE, that's fine.
Yeah.
In my world, this is happening, and that's why when he's come back, he walked through the door. I think as him to say, "I'm back." Not just saying I'm back, but I'm back from where I've been, but this is my universe. I bring it with me, and I
All
exist where I want.
fair play.
I think if he did a Fiend film, it would have expanded more on ideas. I don't even know much about the character, but from reading about him, that would make the most sense to me.
It would do, but I would have thought. I think going down a different route would have been better. Maybe like a animated film or something like that.
He may have done. He may have done.
Just live action would just be a bit weird.
You say that, but didn't you recommend me watching that John Cena versus Bray Fiend? Was it you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all kind of essentially one of them pre-filmed things they did.
It is, but then again, it's still in the realms of WWE.
But doesn't the match end? It's not like I know how it ends. It doesn't end with him trapping John Cena in his world, in his reality. Like, it doesn't pin him, but he's like, you're trapped here now, and that's it, or something like that.
I can't remember.
It's something bizarre.
It was good, but like, I can't. Like, I think it was when during COVID, so anything was pretty good at that point. You know what I mean? You're like, the whole world could end at any point and all implode because of what's going on. I'll accept this.
But yeah, how did we get on that?
That is a hell of a tangent.
I know. I don't even know how we got on that. I think, is it you next? Is that what you mentioned?
You were on Bonesaw.
Oh yeah, no. So we were talking about Knuckle.
Oh, Knucklehead.
Knucklehead.
No, you were talking about Waterboy.
Then went to Knucklehead, and then So it's you.
Yeah.
If you've got anyone else.
Yeah. Actually, it's Shaq. But in AEW.
What?
Oh, yeah. Back in March 2021, he was in AEW, and it was Shaq and Jade Cargill versus Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet, and it's actually a really good match.
Samuel L. Jackson Shaq? Or someone else playing Shaq? Wait, hold on.
Shaq, as in Shaq O'Neal.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Shaq.
Yeah.
Oh, Shaft. I'm thinking of Shaft.
Shaft, yeah.
Sorry.
No, no Shaq.
Sorry. I'm not very good with my names today. To be fair, Shaft has been in WWE.
Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
Has he?
He helped Hardcore Holly defend the title. Hardcore Holly hires him.
Yeah.
This is when the Shaft film was coming out. Hires him to stop Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson from finding him and taking the title off him. And it is quite a good moment between them two when he's like, "Hey, aren't you the hardcore champion?" It's like, why would Shaft wouldn't know that at all? And then he pays him some money, and then when they come in looking for him, he goes straight to like this weird 10. So it's like he's saying cool and goes. They go, "Hey, have you seen a Hardcore Holly? Not Hardcore Holly. I just keep saying Crash Holly around." And he's like, "Who's asking?" Playing it dead cool. It's like, "We're asking. That's who." And immediately just like goes, "Oh, I thought that." Flicks his cigarette down and just stands straight up and is like, "Do you know who you're messing with?" And then it like throws a punch and throws an elbow and puts him through a table. And then the girl's like, "Oh," and walk off with him.
That's an ace. On a complete, since like we're going so many weird tangents with this episode.
This is a tangent-filled episode.
Speaking of Samuel L. Jackson and speaking of films, have you seen Farce of the Penguins with Samuel L. Jackson narrating over the top of it?
No.
Basically, it's a film, like sort of it's like a
mockumentary.
Film. Sort of, yeah. So it's actual live footage of penguins. Like March of the Penguins.
Yes.
But it's called Farce of the Penguins. So it's basically just an entire comedy film.
Right.
Narrated over the top of penguins. And Samuel L. Jackson narrates over the top of it. And it's amazing. It is so
what,
funny.
is he just putting his own spin on everything that's going on?
But pretty much, yeah. And just how, like, all these penguins, like... There's like a penguin couple, but then when like it's mating season, it's dark, and then one of the friends starts mating with the wrong person, and it's just like it's really stupid, but they're funny.
Farce the Penguins.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a good tangent. I'll have that.
Yeah.
So wait, so we're talking about Shaq, big Shaq.
Yeah, big Shaq.
And he teams with
Jade Cargill.
Okay, and it's against Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And
Red Velvet.
Oh. I'm not a Red Velvet
Bear
fan.
in mind, it's like peak COVID, so it's March 2021.
Right.
So not peak COVID, but when they can start.
Yeah.
There's
Is there
no
any audience? Or, yeah.
There's no audience.
Oh
no.
yeah, so it's yeah. It's the peak
But
COVID.
for
essentially.
even having no audience is still a good match.
What's the storyline set up there? Why are Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet together?
I don't really know. Like I said, it was just kind of.
I do, yeah. And of all the people to come out of that, Jay Cargill is the one standing tall at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
who do you think's gonna just again on a tangent, but still wrestling related? Who do you think's gonna
dethrone her?
Think Paige is? Oh, sorry.
No, I think
Saraya.
Paige is more going to be. Saraya is more focused around. I think Saraya's not even going to go for a title. I think Saraya is there to do, as she says, to invigorate she's going to make factions for the girls and kind of make it so there's a definitive good and the bad side and everything like that. If anyone's to take the TBS championship, it's going to be she's been off with an injury.
Britt Baker.
No, why was this Britt Baker? For anyone listening,
she broke her nose.
I wasn't doing an impression of a broken nose. I'm talking about
She pressing your nose.
Yeah, but because this character, this wrestler, she boops your nose. It's oh god.
Oh,
she was in Best Friends.
Ruby Soho broken nose as well. She's been off. With
I'm not talking about anyone who's broken their fucking nose. I'm talking about they go up to you and boop your nose.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Oh god! If I had my phone, but it's being used to record. It's she was in Best Friends. She is made out she's from space. You've got no.
Chris Statlander.
Yes.
Really?
Chris Statlander. I think she'll be the one. She's and he's lost his microphone. Hold on. Yeah, she's popular. Unfortunately, she's just lost a lot of momentum from whatever injury she's had. But there was rumour that they were going to be getting her to take it because she was having this bit of a comeback, and then she's just and a rivalry, and then she's had to go. But I think at her or maybe Jamie Hayter, but I think it'd be weird if Jamie Hayter took it because I feel like Jamie Hayter's so close to the actual Women's World Championship.
Yeah,
it'd be weird for it to knock back and fall on the TBS Championship, which.
It just seems like a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah, like Britt Baker's not even shown any interest in that championship, so why would Jamie Hayter? But yeah, that would be who I would put. You've thrown me off with your weird cameo suggestions. I'm gonna go with one that I hadn't wrote down, but I only thought about in work today. And seeing as we're going off your weird rules, anything goes here. Mankind,
that's always been the rules of our podcast.
Yeah, true. Mankind advertising that fucking bolognese in a tin that they all have over in America, but beefy. That advert, when I've been rewatching old WWE, that advert always makes me laugh. It any other wrestler in stuff has made me cringe. I've watched. There's an old. Did I send you the Kurt Angle pizza advert?
No.
So it's before he's in WWE, in WWF, and he's just known as an Olympic wrestler. And it shows he orders a pizza, he pays the guy, he's in his full wrestling gear as you would, and then he opens the pizza up, and two cartoon toppings are wrestling with one another, and he gives them some tips on how to wrestle before eventually, I think, eating the pizza, and that's the Pizza Hut advert. It's a bit cringy. Big Show advertising this beef ravioli. That's what it is. It's beef ravioli. Big Show's one is a little bit tongue in cheek, bit Paul White, as he doesn't, but it kind of takes away from the character because he's like the big nasty bastard, and here he is just being quite goofy. Now Mankind at this point is goofy.
Yeah,
he's going messing around with Mr. Socko and everything.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's gone from ripping his hair out with George the Rat.
He's already he's progressed.
He's transitioned, so it makes sense.
Shirt and tie, Mankind.
Yeah.
And sweatpants and
when he goes, it's more the fact that it's the two lines, and it feels so man being forced into an advert moment and has no real acting experience.
Yeah.
But is so endearing that you fall in love, and it goes, It's the perfect meal for all mankind.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to it going, oh, beef ravioli, now available here, here, and here. And then it just goes back to him going, beefy. It's just brilliant. I would have that on the show. If there's any people who make these kind of like knockoff shirts that me and PK love, please, can we have an beefy shirt? That would fucking sell.
I mean, like, you'd sell at least 2.
Yeah, fuck. I think it'd sell tons. I think it's like Mick Foley fans. If you're a true Mick Foley fan, you should like the ravioli advert. But yeah, that's gone to my top cameo. That's my favorite one. But go on, try and top that with your fucking weird rules of shit.
Oh, I can't now. Like, I've only got like, I've only literally just put Mayweather versus Big Show because that was pretty entertaining.
Was that a boxing match or a wrestling match?
It kind of was, but like Mayweather like clean knocks Big Show out.
See, why do they do that?
I don't know.
Do you learn nothing from the brawl for all?
Yeah, no.
Exactly. Have you've like we've discussed, you've never watched Dark Side of the Ring, but you need to watch the one about the brawl for all. It's fascinating. It's so fascinating that I genuinely, when I was doing the watch back, I skipped it. I just didn't want to watch it from what I'd heard. There was nothing about it sounded good. I think I tried to watch half of one. Fucking horrible. But why would you put your wrestlers in with boxers? Or make them box, but they can get genuinely fucking hurt. They don't know what they're doing because they're not trained to be boxers.
Yeah.
Just bizarre. Why do we need to see Big Show and Mayweather? No one wants that. No Mayweather fan wants to see that with Big Show, and no Big Show fan wants to see that with Mayweather.
It was big versus small. It was kind of just like the fact that he is huge and Mayweather's tiny.
All right, well then put him versus fucking Wee Man from Jackass.
No, just batter him.
No, but then you can make a joke out of it, like the Jackass guys come and help him, and all sorts. There's tons more you can do there with Mayweather, who's definitely only insured to do so much.
Have you seen Jackass? Sorry, again, super tangent. I'll just have tangent warnings just popping up everywhere.
Yeah, you do.
Tangent. Yeah, no.
Jackass
on Family Fortunes.
No.
So it's the American one.
Yeah.
And
I was guessing that.
It's to promote Jackass Forever. That's just like literally.
Still haven't watched.
No, neither have I, to be honest. A couple of months ago, and I think it's Dave England. He gets a question wrong, so Johnny Knoxville just pulls out a taser and tasers him. And what's his name? The presenter, Steve.
Steve-O.
No,
no,
the guy with
Steve.
the mustache.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah, I don't know the name of him. The guy with the mustache.
Yeah,
he's a gif and a meme and everything.
Yeah, but like he's just like, what the hell just happened? Like it's like, yeah. Johnny Knoxville literally just pulls out a taser out of his pocket and just goes.
Good for him.
Tasers him.
Glad he can still do it. The only thing I would mention at the end then is obviously cameos have become, from what you've just listened to, historically have evolved to this point now where actually wrestlers can be taken seriously and given parts.
Yeah.
So I had down Batista as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Brilliant.
And John Cena as Peacemaker, who was so successful, he got his own TV series, which was fucking phenomenal.
It was to the point where that I didn't like Peacemaker because of the character in the film, not because John Cena played him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got way past the point that it was John Cena playing him, to the point where I got into the character, to the point where I was like, oh, I don't like him.
But then that's how good he is.
That's what I mean. I was really surprised at that.
Well, there's little bits where in Peacemaker, there's a bit where the character likes, this is a typical James Gunn thing. He always tries to overlay music in some way, but where he makes out that he only likes like 80s rock music, like hair metal and stuff. And there's a bit where he's quite depressed and he's alone, and he's a bit goofy and treated as a bit stupid and just a guy who knows how to kill. And just when he's alone, he sees a piano and he sits down and he starts playing Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue.
Yeah.
But dead slowly. And apparently John Cena learnt it for that. He said, no, let me play it. And because he's never played piano before and learnt it, it's a little clunky. And because it's a little clunky, it's even more heartwarming and kind of like endearing. And one of my mates messaged me and was like, holy shit, that was really a moving part.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's brilliant. And that's how good we've got now. We've got it dead good where wrestlers can do these things.
And speaking of Drax, tangent, but not so much. What I didn't know, there's actually a Drax comic written by CM Punk.
Yes, there is.
And in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, you can unlock, basically, it's CM Punk's outfit, but playing as Drax. So Drax is running around in Best of the World, like the
that's
shorts
sick.
and like the wraps
the-
around the hands, yeah. And I found it. I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing, and like just played that like him as that for the rest of the game.
And I've told you to watch this before, and I know you won't have because you won't have had time. Yeah, waggy finger. There's a TV show called Heels. It was on in America. It's about an amateur wrestling league that's struggling for money. It mirrors a lot of 90s wrestling, actual true life, I think, without being too stereotypical and too tropey. But a load of wrestlers got in on that, one of which was CM Punk. He played an old wrestler that's still going round and had moderate success. Mick Foley is a podcaster who is he basically plays your what's his name, your Dave Meltzer.
Right.
As in, but like he's moved on to podcasting now. I swear there was a couple of others in it too, but yeah, series 2, you're probably going to see even more wrestlers show up in that. So they are taken more serious now because they're given the right role rather than some cheesy Hulk Hogan, babysitter, whatever it was. Fucking, I never watched any of Hulk Hogan. But one film that has a lot of wrestling cameos in, and we will talk about it at some point because I want to watch it either A, with you and as we do, or watch it and talk about it separately, is Ready to Rumble. Have you ever watched that?
No, I don't think so.
It's the one that was the reason that David Arquette became the WCW champion. That film was why he became WCW champion, to promote that, because the amount of WCW wrestlers that are in it is essentially 90% of the cast. And is it great? I don't know, but I remember as a kid I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I might be looking back though with 10-year-old's eyes though. So.
Like rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, very rose tinted. DDP glasses, really, just really positive for no fucking reason.
DDP's been confirmed for the Love of Wrestling convention for next year.
Is that? Oh, has he?
Yeah.
I wonder if Jake will come over then, because they've got a pod together.
Have they?
Yeah, DDP and Jake the Snake have a podcast together, which I only just found out about, which I haven't listened to yet. But that's a very odd pairing, like Mr. Positive and Mr. Cerebral.
I suppose, but have you seen the he's heavily involved in his documentary though, isn't he?
Yeah,
so
I feel like DDP,
his whole recovery and fixing the snake and stuff.
I feel like Jake the Snake. It was a Jake the Snake podcast, and then DDP was like, "I'm just gonna stick around.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't do anything or say anything stupid.
Yeah.
Like talking, regaling old stories, going. If you're going to be talking about drinking Jack Daniels and doing cocaine, you might get tempted to drink Jack Daniels and do cocaine.
Yeah. Those are the good old days. Like, don't be doing that.
Yeah, thank you for listening and watching.
Can I just mention, sorry, that
go on.
Machine Gun Kelly got power bombed by Kevin Owens. I found that very entertaining.
I feel like you bring that up whenever you get an opportunity.
I really don't like Machine Gun Kelly. He's just like creepy. He's going to be the next Ian Watkins, I promise.
That's something. Yeah.
See, you didn't say no, so you
I'm just
agree.
Gonna say allegedly, just in case
allegedly,
his team.
You can sue me. You can have all 50p.
Yeah, thank you for listening. If you've got any suggestions on a future episode where we talk about cameos, or if you would like to actually send in the definition of cameo, email us at kickout2podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, make it a little more specific if you'd like to the topic, or we can just do our own versions of the topic. It's fine.
Yeah. Again, remember, if you want to see a sign you've seen on here, let us know in the same way. Is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't really think there is.
Just follow us on Instagram. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and the email address, which is kickout2podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, which and honestly, interact with us on the socials. Rate, like, review, share, all that stuff actually matters because we're still in the infancy. So right now, if you've been listening on your phone, on an Apple or an Android, go to Spotify, give it 5 stars. Go to Apple Music, whatever it is, give it
on an Apple, an actual Apple.
On an actual Apple. And if you're watching it on YouTube, press like, subscribe, everything and all like that. And thank you so much. I did hear Mick Foley on that Foley's pod talk about how it was like it's quite humbling to him that people actually do take their time out because there's so much stuff out there right now. It said it's not like there's 4 channels anymore and you kind of just like the best of a bad bunch or what happens to be on. People have got options now. So for everyone who does listen and everyone who does watch, thank you, because it means that you're picking us over a load of other stuff out there at the moment. So it is really cool. When he said that, it really did hit with me.
Yeah. Well, on that, I think it's time to stop the damn match.
It's time to stop the damn match.